Adding an intervention, I simply click Add in the lower left-hand corner, just like our vital signs. You can see we have 3 different categories from which to choose from. We have our medication, which gives us our medication list on the right. If I click on Procedure, it gives me all the procedures available to me, and all combines these 2 lists together. For the purposes of the video, I will demonstrate a couple items. This automatically defaults to the time at which my last event occurred. So for this, we input a APGAR score, so it will default to that. I can click anywhere in this list though to move it, as long as it falls within the time frame of my call. Prior to arrival is defaulted as no. We'll select who. Indication. If for some reason it was given as an online medical order, you can click here. If you do so, just make sure you change your authorized by down here as well. Dosage, since our title is Adenocard 12 milligrams, defaults to 12. Our dosage units and also route are both defaulted. I have an entire inclusive list here of different administration routes, so if you needed to change it, you can. Now this list seems a little bit inclusive, and a lot of these we're not going particularly to do in the field. However, if you had a medication that was given prior to arrival, it could have occurred through any of these routes. If I want to delete it out, I can click the X here, just like our vital signs. I can copy with the little pieces of paper here, and I can add a new intervention by clicking this guy here. Not all of these are set up the same. For instance, my pediatric Adenocard, we could not create doses for on a default basis. It would make too much of an inclusive list. So for dosages for this one, it's just a simple type field that I can input whatever need be. The rest of it, however, is defaulted, just like our other Adenocards. Our procedures, these are all set up a little bit different, so it takes a little time and experience to get used to them. I'm going to pick ones a little more inclusive though, such as intubation here. A few things are defaulted, but for the most part we're going to have to click through and add different items to this. Our indication, number of attempts is defaulted to 1, if it was successful or not. Our confirmation at the scene, we asked for 2 different types of confirmation. If a bougie was used, what you secured it at, and then how do they confirm it at the destination when you arrived. If it's left blank, not a huge deal, but if the hospital, if the doctor in the ER, usually one of the first things they do is confirm the tube, and if they did so, just document how, and for the response. You have a comment section. Complication is defaulted to none, and a complication narrative. Both the complication and the narrative are NEMSIS requirements, so they have to be in there, but we default this to none. You'll notice that any type of free typing field also has the ability to spell check, so if need be, please utilize that. Again, not all interventions are set up this way. Some are easier than others or less information intensive. General wound care, for instance. All we need is a who, if it was successful, and the response. That's essentially it for the interventions tab. Next we'll talk about the outcome tab.